Hi everybody, welcome to day 6 of Raising My Vibration in 2018. I'm so thankful that you guys are joining me on this journey, and I'm so excited that everybody's starting to make all of the shifting and changing that's desperately needed in our lives. So today's focus is going to be about releasing emotional pain and not giving up. So here's the thing, and I know we all do this. It's New Year's, it's January. We've all started our resolutions. We've all know it's the beginning of new time. So we join the gym and we join the book club and we do all of the things with the intentions that we're going to start making shifts and changes in our lives. And then by week 2, by week 3, we tend to go back into our old patterns again. And I want to make sure that this time something really shifts in all of us so that we actually stay here and we keep the vibration up and we keep all of the things that we're learning and bringing into our lives, all these new changes, that we keep implementing them. And I'll tell you this, so I have probably been on my own personal spiritual journey. I mean, all my life I have been. I definitely signed up in this lifetime for many life lessons from an early age. But it's probably been around 2008, 2009 that I really started making some huge shifts in my life. And I'm not even sure if I chose them, because they just kind of started happening for me on a pretty huge scale. And the more work that I do on myself, on my spirituality, on my spiritualness, of my connecting with who I am and why I'm here, the less time I spend in being a human and, engaging in all of the human activities of fear and anger and resentment. Now, we will never reach up, I don't think anyways, that we will reach a point of total transcendence while we are in human form. We will always keep some of our humanness with us. But what happens is, as our own spiritual power grows, as our own connection gets stronger, we spend less and less time in what I call the human condition. So for some of us who tend to be fearful, if we tend to be in a place of worry and doubt and fear, and that's kind of our, where we operate from all the time, the more we work on raising our vibration and the more we develop our own spiritual foundation, the less time we will spend there. So we will have times when we do dip into the lower vibrations, because we are here experiencing to be humans, but there will be that part of us that's so much stronger now, and the connection with ourselves will be so much stronger that we will realize how yucky it feels when we are in the lower vibrations of fear or anxiousness or nervousness or resentment, any of those lower vibrations. And so we will visit them, but then we will pop right back out of there. And that's the key. The key to all of this is to not give up on yourself when you find yourself dipping into the lower energies or dipping into the, the old thought patterns or the old patterns. Don't think of it as that you're not doing well at this and that things are not happening for you. Just look at it as it's part of the experience as well. Remember, as human beings, when we experience some of the, most traumatic events in our lives or some of the hardest emotions or experiences, it's for growth and development on a soul level. I would never want you guys to have only rainbows and unicorns and sunshine from the moment that you were born until the time that you leave this body, because you would have no depth as a soul. You would have no experience. You would have no empathy. You would have no all of the greatness that we incarnate into these human forms for. You wouldn't have it. And so there is part of us that has to have those experiences. My point is, though, as we are growing, developing spiritually and creating our consciousness on a larger scale, we can spend less times in those vibrations and still get the life lessons out of it in a short period of time. So, we all have, our aha moments, right? Or, we can see sometimes when we're on the other side of a problem or a situation that's been difficult, we can sometimes, quickly see, okay, this is why this is happening. I see this is what I have to do. This is obviously I need to do some work on here. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. That's what we want. We want it to happen quickly for us. We don't want us to keep on repeating old patterns and still being in a state of wondering, why am I back here again? And why is this happening to me again? Because when that happens, it means that we're not doing well on our life lessons and that we need to dig in a little bit deeper and get to work on some stuff. Okay, so part of this is, I know, and everybody, you'll see the posts everywhere on Facebook and in all the books about connecting with your soul and getting to know your higher self. And we do this, and this is the part of us that we work from when we do raising our vibration work. That's what we're working on. But it's really, really important that we all know who the other parts of us, that, because we, again, we're energy. We're not just a little simple, what you see is what you get. There are many layers and many dimensions to our being. And so we have three main beings. So just like the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, we have got our soul, our ego, and our pain body. And so I always say that it's really important that we get to know our ego and our pain body, as well as we get to know our soul. Because a lot of us are not aware of who our ego is and who our pain body is. And if we don't have the awareness of who they are and how they operate and what it feels like when they're in the driver's seat, then we can't remove them, and we can't, we go into, again, autopilot of just going with the flow sometimes. And when our pain body is driving, we don't want to be in that for very long, because it becomes a very ugly experience. So our pain body is made up of every negative experience that we've ever had, every hurt that we've ever had. And this is from the beginning of time with us. It's any, hurt feelings that we've had. It's any wrongs that have ever been done to us. It's any sadness that sits inside of us. So this is our pain body. And so the pain body is completely, again, if we talk about like attracts like, our pain body is drawn to other experiences that have the same vibration, other human beings that have the same vibration. So, for example, when you are getting into an argument with your spouse or your partner, and for most couples, when the arguing starts, it's started by your ego or your pain body. Your soul definitely is not interested in arguing. And so when we are having an argument where we're using a lot of hurtful words, or we're giving accusations, or we're trying to make somebody feel smaller, that's coming from our pain body. And we need to recognize our pain body, especially when it starts to get out of control, when it's looking for what I say, a dancing partner. Your pain body is always looking for a partner to dance with. And so that's when it will, it'll latch on to the people around you, to their pain bodies. And then their pain bodies engage with your pain body, and it becomes this wonderful, not so wonderful, becomes this connecting of energies, and this fuel just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the pain body's energy becomes bigger and stronger and stronger. What happens through awareness is that when we become aware of our pain bodies and we step into that role, we can actually say to ourselves, oh, okay, so obviously there's a trigger in whatever is making my pain body come out that's triggering my reaction of this. And I can acknowledge that, but I am not going to allow my pain body to take over and run the show. I am going to allow my soul to step up, and I'm going to ask my pain body to step back. And that's the process that we want to get to. And it will be so incredibly helpful for when we are being triggered by people, or triggered by environment, or there's because what's happening is it's unresolved stuff in us, all those unresolved lower emotions and vibrations that are still hanging on to us, that are now coming up to the surface. And part of what will happen on our spiritual journey is we will have a bit of a shaking up of things. So, I hear this all the time, and I certainly experience this. In order for us to start having a higher vibration and start to experiencing more higher vibration emotions in our life, we have to let go of the lower vibrations. And so energetically, they have to actually leave your being. And so there can be a little bit of a transition that happens with this. And sometimes the transition can feel uncomfortable as these lower energies come through our experience and they leave our space. I wanted to share with you guys, this is so one of my favorite books, and I'm going to talk about some of the books that I read because I'm a crazy book person. So MOOJI is one of my favorite guys to follow. I find MOOJI's energy very grounding. I find what he says is very simple and to understand. There's no bells and whistles around it. And this particular book is called Vaster Than Sky, Greater Than Space. And so when I'm reading MOOJI's stuff, I find that I tend to do it very intuitively. So if there's something for the day that I'm working on, or some need that I have for the day, or a struggle that I have for the day, I will take the book and I will just tune into the energy of the book, ask my guides to work with me through this, and then open up the book to wherever it is that I need that will help me for that day. And it always works. It always gives me exactly what I need. But I wanted to read you this part in the book today. So this is talking about, so MOOJI's talking about when we start to do the work on ourselves, when we start to work on our spiritual foundation. And as we do this, how some of the lower vibrations will come into our reality again, or come into our awareness. And so he says, very often tremendous resistance will arise when you come to some defining moment in your life. It will raise its ugly head right when you stand a real chance of breaking the hold of identity and the limitations of your mindset. And so this is what I'm talking about. This is the part where ego hangs on tight and pain body hangs on tight. This will happen when you're doing these transformations. But I want you guys to remember that you're not alone in this, and that we are all going to support each other through this. So if you're finding any of the stuff that we're doing difficult, or you're finding yourself being distracted and not going and following the things that we're doing, I want you kind of just to do an internal check of who's in my driver's seat, who's making this decision for me, who's making things difficult for me. Is it my soul, my pain body, or my ego? And so if it's coming from your pain body and your ego and they're putting blocks in your way, then I want you to recognize that so that you can actually shift through that and bring your soul back up into the driver's seat. Okay, so I'm going to post a EFT video on here again today. So this video is going to be from Brad Yates, and it's called Releasing Emotional Pain. And it's an awesome video to do. I highly recommend it. I do it over and over again, just because we create roots to these emotions and to these triggers of the lower vibrations. And this tapping actually really works well at getting rid of some of the lower emotions that we tend to hang on to. So I will post that link. Please, again, do the tapping video. Let me know how you felt after it. For some of you, this one might be really emotional because there's going to be a lot of stuff that's buried deep that you weren't even aware of. And this is an awesome thing. We've got to keep working on it, guys. Keep on. And the thing to remember about all of this is that we need to realize that this is natural to us. All of the stuff that we are doing is stuff I'm just helping you to remember. You guys already know this stuff. It comes naturally to us. It's the other stuff that we're putting in our way that is not natural to us, and we just have to switch our thinking into this. So if anybody out there is feeling like this is a struggle or this is becoming difficult, I just want you to remember that you've got a whole team working with you. You've got the support of the universe behind you, and all you have to do is create a clear intention, a clear focus on what you want, and they will do everything in the power of the universe to help you get that. Okay, so everybody have an amazing day today. We're going to tune in to your energy, give you guys a big energy boost. I want you just to close your eyes and connect with me. So we're going to use our breath just to bring our awareness to our whole being. And so when we breathe in slowly through our nose, we're breathing in the vibration of love, of light, of source. And when we are exhaling through our mouth, I want you guys to really work on releasing the lower vibrations. So with a big I want you to visualize all of your lower vibrations that are still in you, all of the fear, all of the anger, the resentment, the bitterness, all of the negative emotions. I want you to release them from your energy field. Okay, so 3 slow, deep breaths through your nose. And as I tune into the group's energy with my guides and my angels, collectively I can see the light within you shining bright. And it's this light within you that the light within me recognizes. And so we are connecting to source energy. We are recharging our batteries for the day, filling our whole being with light and love. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. You guys are awesome, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.